Hello, everyone, and welcome to Today on A Balanced Life. This segment that we're having today is going to talk about something that's very near and dear to all of our hearts. We're in that space as spring has sprung, and we're getting ready to discover just how out we want to be in the world today, whether you're masked up or not. Whether you're deciding to go sleeveless or half sleeves, if you're deciding to rock a little halter, it's all up to you. Today, our guest will talk to us and enlighten us about what it means to dress the body that we are in. I know, I hear you. Some of you are so ready. And then some of us, like me, may not be quite there. So our guests today are two of our faves, Dr. Tierney and Charlotte Avery. And then we'll be inviting in to talk to us Aisha Pugh later in the show, who will talk to us about how to glam it all up. We'll have Cutto Mamalu, who will talk to us how to dress our body. And then Kimberly Daynard, who will talk to us about how to get fit, fabulous, and ready for the day. Let's bring in Dr. Tierney and Charlotte Avery. Hey, ladies.
Hey, Jacquie.
How's it going?
Wonderful.
All is
Wonderful. Wonderful.
well.
All is well. So it seems as though we're in that season where daylight saving time has already begun. We're having
Mhm.
a few more days of being able to just stay out and about. So tell me, how are you guys feeling about the pandemic? Here where we are in Virginia, the mask mandate has been lifted. And are you ready to get out or no?
So,
I'm ready to get out. I'm ready to get out. I'm ready for the sunshine. I'm ready to play with my kids outside. One of my kids just got roller skates, and I'm just ready to go. I love spring. I love summer. I am not a cold temperature person, so I am ready to go. As far as the mask mandate, our family has decided, you know what, we're still going to mask up when we're around other people, unless we're out at a restaurant or doing other things around other people. We are still, as of right now, we've made the choice to still wear masks.
Sounds like a very important decision. You're a mom of seven, wife of one, and your days get pretty full. How are you managing and handling your kids being ready to get out? And what are some of the guidelines that you're putting in place for them as they say, hey, mom, I want to go to the park. I want to go to the skating rink. I want to hang out with my friends at the movies. How cautious are you going to be in that readiness level?
I'm still going to be cautious because, I still want to make sure that, everything and everybody is safe and secure. In our family, we're a family of nine. So, when one person gets germs, everybody gets germs. On our house, germs are the gift that keeps on giving. And so, for us, my thing is, if unless the kids are outside playing, then, they don't have to wear masks. But if they're inside, if they're going to be around a lot of people in an enclosed space, then I still want them to wear masks.
That sounds great. So, Dr. Tierney, are you ready to get out and about, or are you just kind of hanging on by a thread saying, just not yet?
I'm ready to go. Like in my mind, I've mentally already visited so many places. I echo exactly what Charlotte said in terms of just being ready to enjoy the sunshine and just be outside. My husband and I have actually been looking at, okay, where do we want to go, in terms of travel and considering maybe some places out of the country, but exactly like we've just been talking about in terms of COVID and making sure we're being safe and looking at what the mandates are for those countries. And we definitely are still wearing our masks to make sure we're protected, but also to protect those, others around us, as well. So definitely here in North Carolina, they've lifted the mask mandate as well, but we're just like, as for us in this house, we gonna keep our mask on. And even in thinking about where we're going, what other country, we may go visit, now that outside is kind of open, open back up, we're still being very, very cautious and very, very mindful of the real risks that, still kind of lurk beneath.
So let's talk for a minute while you're still here. So I let me just say, guys, I'm transparent, I'm honest, and even with the outfit I had on today, I know that if I go out, I'm going to mask up, I'm going to be prepared, I'm going to be ready because it's a safety precaution that I like to have for me and my family. Now, when it came to dressing myself from the neck down, it was a struggle. And I believe that we're in that space with our COVID weight and trying to determine how we're going to dress the body that we're in. There are things that you can see that our contributors have said that they are very clear about. They are absolutely certain that they are ready to go. They are clear how they're going to get out and about. But when it comes to dressing our bodies and really making certain that we are comfortable in the skin that we're in, it was a struggle for me today to say, do I want to show my COVID pounds? Am I comfortable getting out and about in my COVID weight? And I literally went through so many different outfits before I said, you know what? I'm going to settle with some exposure and then leave the rest to the imagination because it was really difficult for me to say, you know what? I'm ready to show my arms. I want them out, but I don't think they're ready for the world.
Listen, all I can say is amen, sister. Because let me tell you, the struggle today was real getting ready for the show. I can't tell you the number of times I changed my clothes and then the dress that I actually wanted to wear, the zipper broke. And I was like, oh my gosh. So as I was getting dressed and trying to figure out what I was going to do and everything, my daughter actually said to me, she goes, why are you trying to be so covered up? And I was like, well, I haven't been to the gym. I haven't worked out these biceps and triceps lately, and she was like, Mom, it's okay. And, and I had to really think about it and be honest with myself about how I felt. But knowing, what, I still want to look good and feel good in the skin that I'm in, whether they're my pandemic pounds, whether they're, still, I don't know. I have 7 kids, but my youngest is 8. So I don't really know if I have any baby weight left, but it was really, really hard. So I feel you in that, Dr. Jacquie, totally.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, it's just been all about grace. I've been giving myself a lot of grace, and just really before I try to compare, myself to my 2020 summer or my 2019 summer, really thinking about all that has transpired, all of the ups and the downs, all of the things that, I've weathered in this storm that we've all, been in, and just giving myself grace to say, sugar, you still here. It doesn't matter that you got a little extra right here or your collarbones ain't showing up as prominent as they used to. You're still here, so that is a testament to your strength. That is a testament, to your tenacity and your fortitude. So it's okay if I got a little extra junk in my trunk or a little extra dip on my hip, I'm still here. And so there's always that opportunity to just love yourself in that space and say, you know what, I'm going to take a couple of, extra steps today, not from the place of, oh, I'm so fat, I need to lose weight, but from that place of, you know what, I love me and I want the best for me. I love who I am right now. So I want to strive to be the better version of me, not from this place of, oh my God, I'm so huge, I need to, work out. Just give yourself some grace, sugar. We've been through a lot. So, love the skin you're in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can hashtag that. Give yourself some grace, sugar. Yes.
Yes.
But don't eat more sugar. Let me just say that. And I think that was me during the pandemic. I was in like, okay, I'm not going to eat one more Swiss cake roll or Little Debbie cake because I'll start looking like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to even talk about that. But let me just say, one of the things that both of you ladies mentioned was the power of self-confidence and the will to move ourselves forward. And when we think about how many pounds we gained and whether or not our self-confidence is where it needs to be, it can actually keep you from being motivated to get out and do fitness. When we come back after the break, I want to bring in Dr. Kimberly Daynard. When we come back after the break, I want to bring in Coach Kimberly Daynard. She is a trainer, professional extraordinaire, and she will give us some tips on how to get ourselves together so we can be fashionable, we can be fit, and we can come in form. And so when we're back after the break here on A Balanced Life, we'll hear from Kimberly Daynard.
Pull up a chair, take your seat. The Black Tape with me, Dr. Greg Carr, here on the Black Star Network. Every week, we'll take a deeper dive into the world we're living in. Join the conversation only on the Black Star Network.
Welcome back, everyone. As you can tell, all of us are a little bit in our feelings about our COVID weight, these pandemic pounds, as you heard Charlotte say. And it allows us to get into a space of saying, can I give myself grace to put on my workout clothes, to go downstairs, to go outside, to get on the bike, to do whatever it is I need to do to get healthy? Let me make sure that I say that and that I'm clear. Sometimes it's not about losing weight. It's about getting healthy and becoming the best version of yourself. Everyone, let me welcome in Kimberly Daynard.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, how are you? So good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Can you tell our audience about who you are? I've read, and I know you personally, DC's toughest trainer. So
Yeah.
I don't say that people should be nervous. I just say come prepared and be ready to look your best when you come into her presence.
Well, I appreciate that, but I kind of toned down that DC's toughest trainer. I do online coaching. The studio is really kind of for me and my husband to, stay fit in between the gym sessions. So I kind of brought that whole beat them up thing because people were kind of worried to come here, but I'm here to help people live their best life. My motto is helping busy people live healthy lifestyles.
So can you ever be too busy to work out? Tell us about what it looks like for you if a person is starting out for the very first time, or if an individual has been in the pandemic and they're like, I just don't know what to do. I don't have the stamina or the wherewithal. Can you guide us and walk us through getting on page with being fit?
So, since we're in this pandemic, a lot of us coming out of it, a lot of us had great habits before. Maybe we were thinking about starting a fitness program and then the pandemic hit. So you never really got something in place. So I want to just kind of address that first. Like, what were you before the pandemic? You don't want to come into this post-pandemic life and think you got to do all the things. So what it looks like is just having a, sit down with yourself, giving yourself some grace and say, hey, it didn't happen overnight. It happened over the course of the past 2 years. We've been inside, locked up, masked up, not really, hitting the gym. I mean, I've been brave enough to go. I've done, we're still staying masked up. I go to the gym, but not everybody had that opportunity. So you have to give yourself some grace that, hey, it's going to take some time, but we can accelerate a little bit of that by, like I said, being focused on what are your goals? What do I want to achieve? Obviously, we want to look good, but the more, when you work out, that automatically gives you the mindset, you're positive, you feel good about yourself. And the more you feel good about yourself, the first time you lace up those shoes, go back to the gym or go meet somebody in the park to work out or go into your basement gym. The more you do it, the more those endorphins, that good feeling comes into play, and then you keep doing it. So, coming back from what you're doing before, if you never got started, you got to have an assessment and see where you're at. And it's all about health. Sometimes we might need to visit our doctor first before we start any program because you haven't been working out for 2 years the way you were. So you got to make sure you have a good foundation before you start putting some programs back in place.
I like what you said about having a good foundation in place, because working out for me is a mental process. I have to see myself doing it, and then I will actually get out and do it. I definitely can say the motivation is not where it used to be. And it may be because for me, I struggle with consistency. What can you tell us about the power of discipline when it comes to fitness and being consistent? If I'm going to just work on my tummy, or if I'm just going to work on my thighs or work on my arms, why does it matter?
So when it comes to fitness, it's a cumulative effect.
Mm-hmm.
Just like if you're investing money, you put $5 away, you want to see it grow. You put $10 away, you want to see it grow. But it won't grow if you don't put a little bit. You got to keep putting a little bit into it. You want to put $50,000, say $50,000. It's not going to happen overnight. You got to put in a little bit. So fitness, you got to put in a little bit. You got to keep putting in. It's like a stock. It's like a mutual fund, right? Fitness is like a mutual fund. If you're not putting in consistently, right? It doesn't have to be a whole lot, but consistency breeds that cumulative effect of, wow, over time, me doing all my workouts. And I will say nutrition is 70%. 70% of what we see is nutrition. I can work out all day long. I can feed all y'all up here in my studio. And if you go home and have, 2 burgers, 3 burgers and milkshakes, it kind of negates all your hard work. So the power of the cumulative effect is what you should be thinking about when you're talking about staying motivated and being consistent. Put it on your calendar. If I do this every week and I check back with it and I see that my cumulative work and my accountability with myself is paying off, That's what keeps people motivated. So when you don't have results, or you're doing it, you're kind of haphazard with it, and it's just kind of hit or miss. That's what gets people in that funk of like, I'm not doing anything, nothing's happening. So the cumulative effect of fitness is the most important thing you want to have for consistency.
So it's not true that if I work out every day and eat what I want, I'll still lose weight. And I think that that's some of the fallacies when people are searching social media and they're hopping from this thing to that thing. There's a lot of misinformation out there about the role that nutrition plays, drinking water, getting rest, having those things in place that give you the type of lifestyle you want to live. When we're not disciplined and not focused, and you mentioned, alluded to the dividends of the cumulative effect. How much time a day should we spend just starting out? Definitely, you said go to the doctor. Should we wait for our doctor to tell us how much time, or is there some basic amount of time to help us get started now that we're into spring and daylight savings time has begun?
So I would never, just from my personal experience, there's the medical field and then there's the fitness professional. And neither one of us learned out the same book. But I need that doctor to tell me, are my numbers right? Is there anything I should stay away from in my food? Is there something I should do that's going to help me medically? But they can never give you the right advice when it comes to fitness. And they'll tell you that, right? That, hey, I didn't learn that much. I know you need to stay fit. So my guide for someone's fitness level is based on their goal. Hey, if you're trying to go on vacation, we all trying to go outside, you're trying to go to Jamaica in April, then obviously you might accelerate some of your time. But 30 minutes to 45 minutes a day in a focused way, maybe some strength training and some cardio, depending on your level. If you're able to lift weights, great. If you're able to do some weight bearing exercises, great. But if you can get some vigorous activity for 30 to 45 minutes, generally that's going to get your heart rate up. The more your heart rate goes up, the more you're going to be burning off the calories you're eating. But there's a secret. The secret is making sure the amount of activity you do and the amount of food you consume, there's a sweet spot. So you won't know what that is, unless maybe you might have a coach or a trainer helping you, great, but you got to figure out what it is. So if you're not tracking your activity and your eating, it's hard to find out how much more activity or how much more food or how much less you need. So going into it with the mindset, there's two things that are happening. I'm moving and I'm eating. Now those two things need to be managed and you need to find your sweet spot. My sweet spot, I know what it is. I know I do about an hour and a half of training a day because that's where I'm at. And I eat, 2,000 calories a day. Somebody might say 1,200. So you got to work with it. You have to find your balance. But I'd say 30 to 45 minutes of vigorous activity should be a good start for anybody getting into exercise.
Thank you for sharing that content and information. I want to bring in Dr. Tierney and Charlotte Avery to have this conversation with Kimberly, because Charlotte, as she mentioned, is a family of 9. And oftentimes people have been accustomed pre-pandemic to allowing their kids to go and hang out with their friends and do different activities. And so we're a little bit cautious. Kimberly, when we're talking about family fitness, what are some things that you can identify that families may be able to do together to build relationship and bonding, but as well as have fitness that matters?
I'm so glad you asked that because I am a grandma. And during the pandemic, we had to get those kids out. We had to get them out because they weren't in school. They were being homeschooled, right? And we had to get them out and we kept everything at a fitness mindset. We did hikes because we're outside. I mean, there was distance between people. We maximized being outside. So everything that was like walking, hiking, climbing, exploring, anything that kept the kids moving. And guess what? When they was moving, it wasn't bugging us for stuff. We weren't locked inside. We found our escape through fitness. And that's how my family, my grandkids, everyone around my clients, we found an escape from the pandemic by getting outside as much as we could and using that outdoors, right? The parks were still open. Virginia had all the parks open. We maximized that. So we made every day we had some kind of field trip planned, just going to the school. The schools were closed, but their playgrounds were open. So we ran them around and we had all kinds of projects, but it was always outside. It was always outside. And if it was indoors, it was something with activity. It was like, something in the house that they can jump rope, whatever. And we kept them active. So something that keeps you together, maybe even exploring, hey, we're going to a new place. We're going to go hike this thing and make it fun. So, depending on the kids' ages, obviously, if they're small. We even had a little baby. The boy was only 2 years old. My husband had him on the back. We had a little 6-year-old. We just made it fun, and we made sure that it was fitness fitness at the core of everything we did. So outside is going to make it easy to me as a parent and a grandparent to get the kids and myself get the movement that I need.
Well, that's exciting. I think that, Charlotte, when Kimberly was talking about the things that you do with kids, what are some of the things that you do with your children, that are fitness related, where literally, do you ever have all 7 of them involved?
Oh, absolutely. So, at the beginning, at the height of the pandemic, we did a family fitness festival out in our front yard. And it's so funny because our neighbors thought that we were having a birthday party, but we had just made this obstacle course and made all these fun activities and made the kids team up. And we just went outside and had fun and played. And it was literally all 9 of us. The other thing that we did, and my husband is just so good at this, but he would take all of the children on a bike ride. They would go riding bikes with their dad, which gave me time to be at home, preparing for them to come back, making dinner or lunch or whatever, for that particular time of the day. We would go on family walks and just have such a good time being outside. And I have to tell you, one thing that I really appreciate about the pandemic is that my kids really they were on video games less, and they were on technologies less because they were always in front of their computer. So we were very intentional, and we still are very intentional about getting them out. And there are a lot of children who live in our neighborhood across the street and all that. And, the kids really are enjoying just being together and spending time together, whether it's my kids in my household or the neighborhood kids and things like that. I mean, just being able to see them run and play and not attached to their screens. It's a beautiful thing. And I really, that's one thing that I really appreciate about it.
Interesting. So, Dr. Tierney, and I know that Kimberly didn't say this, but I heard her at the very beginning say what she does with her husband as it relates to working out. As a couple yourself, what do you and your husband do to work out? Are you getting out and about, spending time together? Because relationship building and balancing that during the pandemic has been extremely important, that the spirit of togetherness is real, because I think that we were all on each other's nerves sometimes. However, I think we found a way to balance that. So what does that look like for you?
Well, so y'all just making me tell all on myself today, and my husband, honey, forgive me, I got to tell it. So first, Kimberly, you ran down my street when you were talking about the nutrition aspect. The thing that the pandemic showed me is that you cannot out-train bad nutrition. And so I would work out a lot. I'm talking high intensity intervals, box jumps, burpees, and then the pandemic hit, and that bad nutrition that I had, and my issue was that I wouldn't eat, enough, how you're talking about that sweet spot. And it showed. That's why we have a little extra here, because that bad nutrition caught up. And so that's one of the things that my husband and we did pretty good in the beginning, because I was, so active that he would come with me, when we were here. We have amazing greenways here in Charlotte. And so I would take my bike and he would get his bike and we'll go to the greenway and, but we didn't do probably as much as we could have or should have together. Working out together, we would do other things, but not so much in the workout, area. And so it's one of the things now that we're on the tail end of the pandemic, we're both just kind of looking and doing inventory like, we probably should have been moving just a little bit more. Or in my case, I should have been looking at that nutrition a little bit closer, now that we're coming out of it and looking at our waistlines and things like that. But we made sure that we stay connected via just other things. We would play games here in the house. I still have a Wii. And so we would play the Wii, we'll play board games. I don't know if you guys remember kind of at the start of the pandemic, those little games that people would make up, like you would put a bunch of tissue in the box and like try to pull the tissue out, who pulled it out, the fastest, or the one you put the cookie on your face and try to move the cookie to your mouth without moving or using your hand. So we did a lot of those type of fun activities to stay together and connected during this time. So we weren't getting on each other's nerves, but not as much activity as we should have.
Thank you for sharing that. I think each of us finds a variety of ways, in our relationships. And thank you guys for this segment. When we come back after the break, I want to talk to Kato Mamalu. We've addressed what it looks like to get our nutrition together, to find our space in fitness, and we're pretty clear that we just might be ready to get out. But when we come back after the break, we're going to really find out how to know our current shape. Yeah, I may have been an hourglass, and there was a season when I was a pear, and hopefully I'm not a round egg shape now. But when we come back after the break, we'll talk to Kato Mamalu, who will share with us how to dress the body that we're in. Welcome back, everyone, to A Balanced Life. I am delighted to bring up our next guest, Kato Mamalu. Hey, Kato.
Hey, how are you?
How are you? Fabulous. It is so good to see
I'm
you.
good. Trying to survive in all those body shapes you just.
Look, I've had a couple of body shapes during this pandemic, probably since I saw you face to face last. And so I've really worked at trying to stay in a certain size range so that way I can fit the clothing that comes in that category. Tell our audience about who you are and what you do. And then I want to dive into some conversations about how do we fashion the shape that we have.
Yes. Well, everybody, my name is Kato Momolu. I'm a fashion designer originally from Liberia, West Africa. And I reside in Little Rock, Arkansas. I've been a creative my whole life. So fashion is just the one pinpoint that I decided to put my focus on and I've been doing it forever since I was about 16. So, when we talk about dressing ourselves, I think, we talked about it earlier in the show about grace. You have to show yourself grace, when you have a baby, after getting married, the little happy honeymoon stage. There's so many phases that we gain and lose weight. When we're stressed, we lose or gain depending on your body. But I think you have to come to a term where you understand your body, have a relationship with your body. Sometimes you guys might break up, but you're still together, so you have to make it work. We're all in the phase now where we gained a few pounds. We're not motivated to go to the gym because you're like, why I'm not going anywhere. But you still have to put your best foot forward. So when you step out, think of things that make you look amazing and feel amazing. Some of us have stopped wearing makeup. Go back to wearing makeup. If that's your thing and it makes you feel beautiful, I don't care if you're just going to Walmart. Put some lipstick on and take your butt to Walmart and be fabulous. Wear fedoras, hats, get your hair done. And then when you're wearing clothing, I feel like we're in the phase where we want to hide things. Wear things that hide your body parts that you don't really favor right now, but still make it look pleasing. Like right now I'm into these really big ponchos that I create, and they have, openings on the side so I can still wear my jeans and my tanks, but I feel like it's covering the pieces of me that I'm not really happy with right now, but I still feel like I look cute or favorable or happy. And I think our mood really does continue with, what we wear. What you put on makes you feel a certain way. So if you're going out and you're feeling frumpy because you're wearing this frumpy jogging suit, take it off, sis, brother, everybody. Wear things that make you feel amazing, because that is going to interpret into your mood and how you move about your day. So find the little things that for sure you used to do before the pandemic and start incorporating those things in your life now. I wear makeup. I don't care if I'm going to 7-Eleven or to a Zoom meeting. I put my face back on. I've been wearing my hats. I got my hair braided for my birthday, and I've been living my best fabulous life. You know, recently this weekend, I went to a New Edition concert. I was masked up, but I had the most amazing time of my life because I'm still dedicated to living.
Oh, you said something right there. You are dedicated to living.
Yes, I have lost so
Yeah.
many friends and colleagues and just so much. So I was like, you see, people are constantly getting out of here, and we don't know who's next. You got to live now. You got to live in your moment. So don't let any situation take away that from you. If you love wearing makeup, putting your face together, put it on. Don't let anything or any situation take you out of yourself.
The essence of, yeah, I love that. The essence of who you are really does matter. And having that relationship with yourself is something that you said at the very beginning. The relationship with self will allow you to get in the arena of, I can dress my body. If I need something a little looser, then wear something that may be A-line. If you lost weight, praise God for you that you've lost weight and you can wear something that's a little bit more cinched up. I know that during the pandemic, everybody was talking about becoming snatched. And I kept thinking, like, I don't know where to begin with being snatched, but what I'm going to do is go in my closet and I'm going to look for clothes that give me the appearance of being able to still feel good about me, because mood is important. Man, when you said that, something, I got goosebumps, because your mood and your clothing play a very big part. For people who don't like color, Kato, can you talk about how color plays a part in different fabrics and materials can make you feel alive again?
Yes, color really does color your life. From the things you put in your face, to your hair ornaments, to your hair color. Find things that compliment you, like when you put them on, they make you radiate, you know, like they just make you shine. When you go out and people are like, oh my God, I love that color on you. Take notes about the compliments people give to you, because you might not necessarily feel confident when you do those things. And then give yourself the grace. You know what, you look cute, and girl, you look cute today. Look in that mirror and give yourself those compliments. You know, we when I say this relationship, when we're in a relationship, you know, you have to love on yourself. You have to respect yourself. You have to, you know, be your number one supporter and cheerleader, because no one else may be available to do the jobs that day for you. So definitely try on color when you go to the store. Try on things you normally probably would never ever think to try on. Because I've had clients that are like, no, I don't wear that. Try it on. Oh my God, I love it. You know, we have nothing but time right now. So until we can get out and be the way we want to be, use this time to build up your wardrobe and do the things that maybe you thought were too risky before, but maybe this is the time. Live that life now and put that color on, girl. Wear that red lipstick. I was always afraid of wearing red lipstick until literally 2 years ago. I started to play with some lipstick with my makeup artist. I'm stuck now. I wear red, I wear orange, and I've been using other colors that I normally would never wear, but I mean, they look good on me, and I never thought to try them because I was just stuck in my Cutco box. So get out of your box, whatever it is, and just live your life. Even if it's a flop, there's always another day and another time to start over.
You make a good point, because you can always take it off. It's like when you leave the house and you don't feel good. I mean, I tell you, I've gotten on, I put on something, and then while I'm driving in the car, it starts to feel uncomfortable. I'm like, you know what? I'm close enough to home. Let me turn around and let me put something else on that I know that when I get out, I'm not going to be self-conscious. I'm not going to tug at it. I think that was always one of the rules growing up. If you have to tug at it, you shouldn't have it on.
Yes.
You know, and learning and knowing when something isn't your fit, isn't your shape, isn't your style. The characteristics that you were just mentioning about the shape and the color, I wrote down the word dibs, because it's something that I say when a lady has something on and it's like outstanding. So I always say, man, dibs, because I would like to replicate the way that looks. For me, it's daring, it's intentional, it's balanced, and it's sustainable. It's like if I go out and buy it, I know it's not trendy. Why is it important not to fill your closet with trends?
Because the trends come and go, and they're not for everybody. You know, I usually don't even do trend forecasting when I design. I design what I feel like designing, and I design what I feel is needed at the time. So I'm easily able to translate these things throughout my career and with my customers. I think with trends, view it, if you like it, get into it, but buy one or two things that you can really use. But don't get so caught up in it. I always tell people to find their own style, find your own stilo. You know, and maybe it's you just wearing tank tops and a poncho and a hat. Whatever it is that works for you is amazing. I know you mentioned something about tugging. You know, we're just naturally inclined to put on these tight outfits sometimes because we want to feel snatched or whatever, but not everything needs to be tight. Some things can be loose and sexy just the same. You know, some things can be flowy and sexy just the same. It's all about your attitude. You know, I was watching these old 90s videos last night, and it was like MC Hammer, and all his dancers had these 3-piece suits on, females, males, but it was not about their bodies. It was about what they were doing in their craft, and they looked amazing. And the confidence that they had in those outfits, it spoke something. I think we have to start changing the dialogue of what we, you know, consider to be beautiful, consider to be sexy, consider to be stylish. Really, it's all in here. I feel like I'm number 1 in 100 that day. No one can tell me I'm not cute. So it's all a mindset. You have to get that mindset together before you get dressed and step out. So your confidence just radiates. People just start flocking to you. Oh my God, you look great today. And really, it's just your attitude. You have nothing really special on.
I want to bring everybody in because I have a question. Kato raised a very good question that I want to ask everybody. And the question that I have for you is, how do you know that you look good? I mean, all of us define that in a different way. And she was saying, you have to do what works well for you. So I'm going to start with Dr. Tierney, and then I'm going to go to Kimberly, and then Charlotte, and then I'm going to go out to a break and then come back, because this conversation is so intriguing to me. Dr. Tierney.
Can I just say, Kato, I love everything that you just said. The whole thing. And when we're talking about confidence, you know, it comes from within. So if you're asking, how do I know when I look good? It's when I look in the mirror and look at me and go, girl, you look good. You know, I don't need anybody else to tell me, you know, that I look good. It's when I put it on, whatever I put on, if I got on a face or if I just got on some sweats and some Timbs, you know, I know when I look good based on when I look in the mirror, how I feel about me. That confidence comes from within. Starts with me first.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Kimberly.
Yes, I definitely, when Cuddle, we were talking, that is what I would recommend to my clients. Hey, until you get where you want to be, you need to be wearing some clothes that accentuate what is great about your body. So when I look at myself in the mirror, when I do the Kimmy shimmy, I know I look good. I start doing my
Kimmy shimmy.
Kimmy shimmy. If I ain't shimmying, I need to go get something to look a little better. But that's how I know I look good, when I start shimmying in the mirror.
I believe that our audience, when they hear that, they're going to definitely be utilizing it because it makes so much sense. Yeah. Charlotte.
So first of all, I just want to say, Kato, you were like, I was amening you the whole time. I was like, yes, sister. Amen, sister.
Thank you.
Because let me tell you something. When I know that I look and feel good, I ooze it like from head to toe. And, you know, and I talk to myself in the mirror. I'm like, girl, I don't know where you had 7 kids. I don't know where they came from, but girl, you look good. Like, I talk to myself in the mirror. I really do. And when I look good and I feel good, I mean, I walk different. I feel different. I feel like I am just the dopest woman walking down the street, and nobody can tell me a thing. And so, yes, it is about your confidence and how you feel about yourself and all of that. And so this whole conversation is just so beautiful because, you know, I think as women, you know, we get caught up in what somebody else looks like, what somebody else's body looks like, you know, and listen, I'm not 20 anymore. I'm not 16 anymore. I am almost 50, you know, and I'm a wife and a mom. And so, you know, my goal is to not look at anybody else, but to be my best self and no one else. And nobody can do me the way I do me. So that's that.
I love that. I know the 3 snaps and around the world, and that is that. Let me just come back after the break. I want to continue this conversation because all of the women that you've heard from today are business owners. We're doing the doggone thing, and there are times when we have to leave our families behind. I want to have a conversation about how do we balance when we're away, and how does it really make us feel when our families miss us. When we're back on A Balanced Life after the break.
Jumper Owens, America's Wealth Coach, and my new show, Get Wealthy, focuses on the things that your financial advisor and bank isn't telling you, but you absolutely need to know. So watch Get Wealthy on the Black Star Network.
Welcome back, everyone. I want to come back in and start with Kato, because Kato travels. She does a lot of amazing work, both locally and abroad. And I'd like to get her take and idea for those of you who are business owners and thinking about starting a business, thinking about living your best life and pursuing your dreams. It does require us to put in the work. And oftentimes that work requires us to leave our families behind. Kato.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. When I went on Project Runway, my daughter was 4. I didn't know how to explain to her, hey, I'm going on a reality show. I'll be back in 6 weeks, and I might not talk to you, and then leave the show and come back, and then to be traveling so much, it's a lot. There's a lot of guilt that's involved. But I think as women, we have to decide what image are we showing our daughters. That was really important to me for my daughter to see what I saw in my mother. My mother went to work. She had a business. She ran things. She traveled. She showed me that as a woman, my duty is not just to be home and, just doing whatever society says I should do. That if I have dreams to aspire to, that I should go after them and pursue them and show my kids that, that's how life is and that everything's going to be okay. But when I am home, I do go on overload. I make up for the times. I'm making Valentine cards and everything, getting prepared for school before I leave. So you do have to be a bit more organized. But it's doable and it can be done, and I think in the end, your kids look at you like, Mom, you did that. You did everything you said you were going to do. And I feel like I can do it as well. So that was my main goal in doing it. As hard as it was, me stopping my career, my dreams, what message was I sending to my children? So that was my motivation to keep going, even though they were sad when I left. When I came back, we made up for lost time. And now I think they've adjusted to that. I make them a part of when I'm going. I'm FaceTiming, hey, look who I met. So it's not as hard, but, more power to people who have really young kids. It's tough, but stay the course and just know you're doing it, not just for yourself, but just the image that you're showing to your children. They need to see that.
I want to ask you another question related to that, because not only were you away when you were doing Project One Way, you also started a project, a nonprofit, if you will, to empower women in Liberia. Can you share with us your work and what that means to you in order to be able to give them an advantage?
That was amazing to me because, back home where I'm from, only men were tailors. Like when we went to the tailor, it was always a man. I never saw a female. So after leaving the show and just so many people in my country just celebrating me, I just thought it was important to go back because during the war, so many of the men were killed. A lot of the women now are the breadwinners in their families and not really knowing what to do. So to see this female doing something that's really legally in our country, a male's job, and succeeding at it, it was important for me to go so they can see me, they can touch me, I can teach them things and show them how to start a business and say, this is doable. I'm Liberian and we come from the same space. I was able to be blessed to leave, during the war and not be here, but I'm back now to make sure that those who are still standing still have something that they can use to build their businesses and to also show their children that, even though the male dominance is gone in the family, that as women, we can still stand tall and carry our families through any situation. So that was really dear to my heart. That's really a full circle moment for me.
Thank you for sharing that. Kimberly, when you're gone training and preparing other people for their best life, you're leaving Mr. Daynard behind. How do you balance that toll?
It's amazing because, because we're both, health conscious, it's not like when I leave, I'm not cooking dinner and he's going to go get McDonald's every night. I'm a grandma and thank God to technology, I was able to stay connected. I have 2 beautiful daughters, Rosetta, happy Black woman, and my daughter Joelle, who's a nurse practitioner, just using technology. Sometimes we'll all be on WhatsApp together. So I didn't miss any family events. I was always being piped in. But when I'm gone, fitness wise, I am concerned with my husband's food because he doesn't know how to cook nothing. That man he can barely heat up some soup. So I left and, I left for 3 months. I was actually on site. I have a couple celebrity clients. I went on site. I was embedded for 3 months. I just got back actually. And for 3 months, he had to manage food. But before I left, I cooked up about 70 meals. They were variety meals. All he had to do was just heat them up and think about his wife's good everything. She'd be back, got that meal, everything was taken care of. So I just made sure, my mother, I take care of my mom. Just keeping connected all while I'm working. I'm an entrepreneur and I travel even when I'm not working, doing work travel. I might just go on a trip to Texas just to be off, or go to, I went to Miami just to be there for a work thing, but then they want to work off site. So I pipe into the technology, stay connected, whether I'm home or, so this never feels like there's really a disconnect. Even when I came back, my grandkids were like, Grandma, it wasn't like, where you been? You've been gone for 3 months. They literally, we didn't miss a beat because, I'm still the same old grandma, eating healthy, working out. Sometimes I'd be in the gym when they call me FaceTime. I took the FaceTime call because I wanted to stay connected to them. So I just kind of keep my consistency, not just with fitness and, nutrition, but also with my relationships.
Thank you, everyone, for sharing those sentiments. I know that our audience will glean from everything that has been stated. When we come back after the break, Aisha Pugh of Amped Makeup will show us how to put together a 5-minute face. I know you think you've got all the time in the world, but sometimes 5 minutes is all you need to look fabulous.
Pull up a chair, take your seat. The Black Tape with me, Dr. Greg Carr, here on the Black Star Network. Every week, we'll take a deeper dive into the world we're living in. Join the conversation only on the Black Star Network.
Everybody, welcome back to A Balanced Life. I'm excited to bring Aisha Pugh to talk to us for just a moment about how to put our 5-minute face together. However, before we dive into that conversation, Aisha, how have you been doing?
I have been doing wonderful. It's been definitely a busy season for me, of course, but I'm doing good. So thankful and blessed to be here. And thank you so much for having me.
Oh, absolutely. So let's jump right in because people are getting ready for teas. We're going to brunches. We're going to dinner en blanc. We just want to be out and about and having a good old time. So how do we put our face together? I mean, some people will be masked up, so they're only going to see their eyes. But then some of us still enjoy a full face. So that's how that looks.
So when going out, especially now in this environment, you do want to keep a couple of things in mind. So first of all, if you're going to an event where you have to wear a mask, hopefully when you get there, you are allowed to take it off. But I always tell my ladies, whenever they come to me to get their makeup done, we try to do like a matte lipstick, or when you get there, just keep your cute little lip gloss or whatever in your purse. But I like to say when I'm going to events, it's all about the skin for me, first of all. I think that once you have your skincare down, I'm just a sucker for like glowy, pretty glowy skin no matter where you go. So when you're out and about, keep in mind that you want to be soft and pretty. You want to be naturally glam. You don't want to be overly done. Now, if it's an event that causes you to be, super amped up, a gala, something like that, fine. But like a tea party, I would like to just keep a nice, soft, pretty glam. So that includes your nice, pretty highlighters on, and maybe like a nice, pretty, shimmery lip gloss. If you're doing whites, I'm not one to be matchy, but I'm all about the natural tone. So you want to keep it nice and natural. You can do a pop of color on your lip, but if you don't want it to transfer onto your mask, again, a matte lipstick would be more of a better bet. But you can always, again, take your lip gloss and stick it in your purse. Also, real soft, pretty powders. They work really well when you're getting ready to go out, especially now. If you don't want a lot of transference onto your mask, keep it light and simple, okay? So like a nice, soft, mineralized powder, that might work for you, like such as Bare Minerals or Denissa Myrick. She makes beautiful, soft, it's called Enlighten, and it has all of these shimmers and sparkles to it so that when you hit those angles, boom, 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 you're just shining. You're like the star of the show. And then one last thing underneath that skin, underneath like your makeup and things like that, I like to do a real pretty, soft, and glowy, like a primer. Okay, you can put a primer on, and that kind of sets the tone as well. Or a real pretty soft moisturizer, such as a MAC Strobe cream. I really, really like that. Fenty Beauty also makes a real nice primer that's just real nice and soft. And when you put your foundation on top of it, it catches it really well. So those are just a few things that I like to do when I'm getting ready to go, especially for like a nice tea party or something like that.
I love the idea of us being able to entertain and put our best face forward. Now, as an amp makeup beauty artist, you also design and have your own lip color. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because the lip can be everything.
The lip can be everything. Okay, so ladies, again, I like to figure out what the event is that I'm going to, okay? And just like Dr. Jacquie said, I do have my own lip line. Actually, I'm wearing one of my colors. It's called She Ready. All of my lipsticks are actually named to positively motivate women, okay? They give compliments to women. So when you're wearing them, you feel like that, okay? So I always, most of the time, wear my She Ready because I like to be ready, okay? So a pop of color on the lip, you can't go wrong with that. If you want to stand out, you can draw back a little bit on the face, maybe do like a nice, pretty, eyelash or a voluminous mascara on your eye, and then just pop those lips. But for those ladies who don't want to pop those lips, a beautiful lip gloss that will, listen, every lady that I know, most of us, we love a beautiful lip gloss. And most of us have our go-to. And I absolutely have a lot of beautiful colors from like your natural tones to your pinks, just something that you can wear every day. Or for instance, something like what I have on now with the She Ready, I can pop a pretty clear on top of that and just listen, it can be all the rage. So yes, lips are everything when you go out.
So for those people who may be a minimalist to a degree, because I agree that pop of color is amazing. I have thin lashes, but I work lashes. So you mentioned how lashes, mascara, eyeliner play a very big part in giving the eye just that extra lift. How do you select the right lash for your face?
So first of all, let me just talk about lashes really, really quick, okay? It is a staple for me. I absolutely love wearing a nice lash because sometimes when you are going out, if you don't feel like putting on, lipstick or lip gloss or anything like that, your eyes can still absolutely stand out. First of all, your brows frame your face, of course, but using putting on a nice lash just helps your look to pop. So when choosing especially the right mascara, you have to think about the length of the lashes that you want. Okay. Some of us, again, we like more of a statement. So you're going to want to use something, whether it's a mascara or if you're adding lashes, something that's more voluminous. Like I said, if you're someone like you just said, Dr. Jacquie, that's more of a minimalist, you have to pay attention to what kind of mascara you're using. If you want a smaller lash or something more downplayed, you're going to want to use a wand or a mascara that's more not geared toward volume. You just want something that's just going to extend your lashes so that they pop a little bit. And I actually do a class about lashes because we do all like different things. But the main thing that you have to pay attention to when you are buying mascaras is, what is it that you want your lashes to do? Okay. So again, wands in mascara play a big role in how your lashes are going to look. So if you have tiny, teeny baby lashes, again, you're going to want to use a smaller one or something that's just not for volume. And if you want a bigger pop or a bigger wow, you're going to want to use a mascara that has a bigger one that will give you more pop, or a lash that is definitely more voluminous.
Thank you for sharing those tips. I'm certain that our audience now feels more confident and ready to be able to get out and about as spring has sprung.
We're all impacted by the culture, whether we know it or not. From politics to music and entertainment, it's a huge part of our lives, and we're going to talk about it every day right here on The Culture with me, Faraji Muhammad, only on the Black Star Network.
It's time to be smart.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
Oh, no punching!
Thank you, Roland Martin, for always giving voice to the issues.
Look for Roland Martin in the whirlwind, to quote Marcus Garvey again.
The video looks phenomenal, so I'm really excited to see it on my big screen.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
I got to defer to the brilliance of Dr. Carr and to the brilliance of the Black Star Network.
I am rolling with Roland all the way.
Honored to be on a show that you own. A Black man owns the show.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Roland was amazing on that.
Stay black. I love y'all.
I can't commend you enough about this platform that you've created for us to be able to share who we are, what we're doing in the world, and the impact that we're having.
Let's be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared. You dig?
I am delighted that we have had this opportunity to share, to discover how to put our bodies together. Whatever shape they're in, I know that you've heard something that will give you your confidence so you can get out and about and live your best fit and fabulous life. Thank you, everybody, for watching today, A Balanced Life.